regarding the National Association Realtors guidelines for offers of compensation for home sellers. As you know, there was a litigation and a lawsuit that was settled regarding sellers offering a buyer broker, that's the selling broker representing the buyer, commission. That's no longer listed on multiple listings. So when we go out and list the properties, the seller may or may not, or it may be negotiable, pay for the buyer's commission. Hello everybody, I'm Debbie Giordano of Master Brokers. Welcome to my weekly update. Got a little bit of some summer weather this week. I understand it's going to be a little heated, and then we're going to dip right into fall weather. So let's dip right into what are interest rates doing. Well, the Feds did lower the discount rate on Wednesday last week. I reported that that was coming. They dropped 0.5%. So that's a wonderful, huge help in the markets. It hasn't quite filtered into the mortgage market yet. Mortgage rates are stable, but it affects short-term rates like car loans, equity line of credits, credit cards, those kind of rates. And the Feds are expecting to drop even further, maybe a couple more times by the end of the year. So that should bring a lot more buyers into the marketplace. So what are interest rates doing today? They're low. They're at the lowest they've been in a couple years. 6.375 for a 30-year fixed conforming, and 5.625 for a 15-year fixed conforming. So I suspect that there'll be a lot of refinancing done with folks that bought properties into the high 7s or mid 7 ranges that might offer a good time to refinance. So that's a good piece of data to have, especially if you're thinking about selling. It should draw in a lot of buyers. However, the San Jose Mercury News yesterday on Sunday's newspaper said prices dip for the first time in 13 months. It says more properties stay longer on the market, but median sale values stay well above $1 million throughout the Bay Area. And I did close 2221 Shiloh Avenue in Milpitas on Friday. We had listed it at $1,998,888. It's in the Parktown area, great area, Senate Elementary School. It's a 2-story home. Had about maybe 40, 50 families through the open house, the 2-day open house when I had it. So when we set the offer deadline, we actually got one offer. So, but it was well above the list price. It was $2,250,000. So I may have reported that in. But due to some last-minute negotiations with the buyer and some roof issues, and there were some other things that did come up, the buyer asked a concession off that price. So we ended up closing it at $2,180,000. So both parties are happy. It's still $180,000 over list. Seller's happy, and the buyer got a nice little discount, $70,000 discount on that. So I can also say that the duplex that I sold on Chupon, that's closing in about a week and a half. It's listed at $2,250,000. The seller did get 4 offers, but she's going to close at $2,170,000. So a couple points of information. Pricing is very important. I notice homes that are on the market much longer in Milpitas. That's because they're overpriced. You got to be very aggressive, I think, going in and pricing. And if you've owned your home, 20 or 30 years, you've got plenty of equity that you can deal with. So it's really not a bad thing, especially when you want to sell and move out of the area or do something different. So a couple things have come up regarding the National Association Realtors guidelines for offers of compensation for home sellers. As you know, there was a litigation and a lawsuit that was settled regarding sellers offering a buyer broker, that's the selling broker representing the buyer, commission. That's no longer listed on multiple listings. So when we go out and list the properties, the seller may or may not, or it may be negotiable, pay for the buyer's commission. Now on the Chupon property, the duplex, and on the Shiloh, both sellers did offer to pay buyer broker's commission. And I think that's why we got such good offers and strong buyers on those properties. So I actually, I like to tell my sellers that to remain competitive in this market right now, I'd like to see them offer a buyer broker commission. But the questions are the offers of compensation mandatory? And the answer is no, they're not. Does a seller agent have permission to offer the commission to a buyer's agent? Yes. In both cases, the buyer's agents called me, and before they wrote the offer or had an interest in buyer, they asked what their buyer broker commission would be, so they could work that into their offer and make sure that their buyers didn't pay that fee. How will I know if a buyer agent is offering compensation? You'll approve an offer if as a seller. When you look at your offer, the new forms have got the buyer broker commission right in there listed for the seller to sign at that time with the offer. Do I have to advertise an offer of compensation if I decide to make one? And the answer is no, you're not required to do that. And you mentioned concessions. What does that mean? So many agents are now putting on the multiple listing seller paying buyer concessions. That's kind of a unique way of getting around the language of not putting on a buyer broker commission on MLS. They offer that language there. So we'll see how that fares out. So I do have a condo that's coming up. I've talked about that for a couple months. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-story, single downstairs level condo. It's about 1,174 square feet, completely remodeled. It's in the Dixon Landon area, which is in the Kirtner Elementary School. Beautiful property. It's been completely remodeled. And as I've told the story, we had it on the market last year, but they had to go through the city of Milpitas to get the permits, which were not obtained when they did the remodel. And now they're going through the HOA, Homeowners Association architectural review. So that once that's done, we're going to fire that up and get it on the market, and I'm excited to show that. We're priced at $758,000. There's another unit out there that's $788,000. That's an upstairs unit. So we think we're pretty aggressive with our pricing. So hopefully we can get that on and sold, and I'll be able to tell you about some great results for that property. In my previous video, I talked about different areas of Milpitas where I work, because you know Milpitas is my general area. And so I'd like to talk today about the Hidden Lake area. It's named a picturesque neighborhood with homes surrounding a small lake, offering a peaceful environment. And it really, really does. What they are duet homes. They're combined. They have one common wall between the two properties. The HOA, there's a small HOA, and that covers the whole front yards. They're gated front yards, and then that covers the landscaping with the fronts. So the properties and the neighborhood look really, really great. There's a community pool. Like I said, there's a lake that's a private lake. You can walk around the lake. The proximity is really great. It's right down the street from Milpitas City Hall. So you have, and shopping, you can walk to Safeway and the town center, which is close by. A lot of people do that. The school is good. That's the Kirtner Elementary School, which is the number 2 rated elementary school in Milpitas. So it's a great quality of life living with easy, carefree livings. It has 2-car garages. They boast just like a single-family home without all the maintenance. And of course, the private yard, and each one has their own private yard in the back. And those you have to maintain that, but you don't have much yard to do. So if you want a carefree lifestyle, that's definitely the way to go. Next week, I will talk about Parktown. That's a topic dear to my heart. That's actually where I presently live, and that has the Synod Elementary School, which is the big driver, the number 1 school for that area. But tune in next week, and I'll let you know what I think are other great assets about the Parktown area in Milpitas. So bye for now. If you're interested in getting your home on the market, let's get ready for the end of this year or springtime next year. It's never too late to get started on that. Or never too early, sorry about that. My number's 408-945 888 or giordanodj@aol.com. Have a great week. Bye-bye.